Hi, I am Carly from New Zealand, and I have been in India for nearly 3 weeks visiting the Dr. Garg Fistula Research Centre. In 2012 August I was diagnosed with a perianal abscess, and I went into surgery to have that drained, and it formed a fistula. And about 2 months later they gave me another operation to put a seton in, and that was excruciatingly painful, so I took the seton out after about a week or two.
The seton was very tight and painful, so we ended up removing the seton ourselves.
And so basically for the last 4.5 years since then I managed just without any seton or anything, and then I found out about the centre maybe a year ago. I was looking on Google, and I've done a lot of Googling, and it sounded very promising. I actually came across it because I first started looking at Shah sutras, and that led me to find this research centre. And I was really scared of the long trip with my sore bum because I haven't been able to sit properly for the last 4.5 years, so I thought it was too long a trip, and I found someone in Australia who could do a surgery that sounded quite promising called the VAFT.
About 2 years ago, just to interrupt, we saw the top surgeon in New Zealand who recommended putting another seton in, which we thought about, but given the first experience with the seton, decided against.
Yeah, so I just kept managing without that seton because basically that was the only hope that he had for me, or to go onto drugs.
And there was a lot of inflammation, leakage, pain.
A lot of pain, no sitting, and obviously a lot of depression and like feelings of hopelessness. So I went to Australia in January, and they were going to do the VAFT, but it was too inflamed and they had to drain another pocket, so they just put a seton in, and it was excruciating pain after the surgery for weeks afterwards. I was in a lot of pain, and then it settled down a little bit, and he said come back and I'll fix it up properly with the second operation. So I went back in April for the second operation, and that was a total nightmare and a lot of pain.
Put the collagen gel plug in to stitch in the interior opening. Turns out there were 2 openings, but that was for the larger opening, and that failed within 24 hours. The plug came loose.
And then there was a lot of discharge and more pain. And so when I came back to New Zealand after that,
you had to go back into emergency for another operation to put a seton back in, because the collagen gel plug failed.
So I had 2 operations within a week, and they were both excruciatingly painful, and I was in a lot of pain after that, and a lot of discharge still, a lot of discomfort. So I got home with a seton, and then I decided to get in contact with Dr. Garg again. And it just, I suppose because I'd done so much, I was ready to just do the long airplane flight, even though it was going to be like 17 hours of being uncomfortable. And
so here we are. So Carly had her operation near 2.5 weeks ago now. We had the MRI scan here in India and found out that it was a complex fistula. We'd always thought it was just a simple one track through. But yeah, with the MRI and the diagnosis of it, found out there were actually 2 internal openings and a large horseshoe-shaped collection.
An abscess in the intersphincteric plane, which no one had ever described to me before, and so that made sense why I couldn't sit, and just really glad I came.
Yeah. So, after the operation, there was a lot of the drainage of that horseshoe collection. So immediately afterwards, obviously it was very painful, but Carly could actually sit upright.
Yeah,
for
I've
the
been
first time
sitting for
in
the first time
4
in
years.
4.5 or 5 years, so I can sit normally. Obviously it is slightly uncomfortable because it's only been 2 weeks, but I haven't been able to sit like a normal person for 5 years.
Yeah. So now we're changing the dressings. We've been doing first thing in the morning, midday, first thing in the morning, 10 o'clock, midday, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then again at night just before we go to bed. So 5 dressing changes a day. which we're going to keep up now we're going back to New Zealand. There's a lot of healing to be done, but
And the support's been amazing, and it's been so good seeing.
just I guess seeing other people with fistulas. You know, in New Zealand it's quite lonely, eh? There's no one else that you know, or we've never met anyone else with a fistula, so to be able to come to a clinic like this and meet lots of people who are going through similar things.
And
it's
just
been
being
really
able
good.
to come twice a day and have like expert advice is amazing.
Yeah, the follow-up, so you're not just operated on and then sent home, and you're sort of left wondering a week later, are things healing, or do we have infection, what's going on?
That's probably one of the biggest things, was the fear after all my other operations, because I was just left alone and just had to figure it out on my own. Whereas here, I've had amazing support.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the uncertainty away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.